So we've got ecology all around us. Now comes the scientific question. How do we track this? How do we understand this diversity around us? When ecologists go out to do these kinds of studies, first, it's really important to choose a particular area of interest that you want to track some biological diversity in, and set up a grid or set up an observation area. Just a square or a defined area where you want to track all the things that are alive. If we were to go out and do this in a place where people are a little bit farther away, or where that human impact is a little bit harder to see, then we might take a habitat approach, like going up a mountain and saying that we want to track all the living things in our square here at the bottom of the mountain, at the middle, or at the top. In some of the work that I do, looking at biological diversity in human-managed spaces, like farms in Indiana or South India or in Eastern Europe, I oftentimes choose that farm space or that garden space as my area of interest, and I go out with experts and a field guide, and I keep track of all the living things that are in there by collecting them, and if they're plants, by collecting what are called voucher specimens. Little samples of that plant that I take back and I can press into a book to preserve them and check to see with an expert later on and deposit with that expert all of the scientific information that would come from that particular plant. But it doesn't have to be somewhere far away or really exotic. We can keep track of this biodiversity in our own backyards, or whichever spaces we might want to go and collect them in. There is a huge amount of human influence that creates habitats that make life great for all kinds of plants and animals and other living things that we go through every day, perhaps sometimes without even realizing it. Here's my backyard. We can see all kinds of wintered over natural landscape here. Except that if we put that ecology all around us hat on, we can understand that all of these living things, all of these living possibilities, all of these habitats are things that have been shaped by a historical process that I now inherit as the person who lives here in this backyard, and that I'm shaping these for the future as well. It's not just natural soils and the red clay that we have here from the Wabash River in my backyard here in Indiana. It's also the bird feeders that I put up to attract birds, that also attract squirrels and chipmunks, that also attract insects that would live on them, like fleas and bird mites, and even salmonella, that gets a bacterium that gets passed around to birds when they come and feed here. A whole ecology made possible by one simple decision. So we're going to take a look now around this backyard, and through this video I want you to look at all the things that might be natural and all the things that might be man-made that you see here in this video.